And there are moments in sport where you are watching something happen in real time and your brain genuinely cannot keep up with what your eyes are seeing. Sunday, April 12, 2026 at the Australian Athletics Championships in Sydney was one of those moments. 18-year-old Gout Gout stepped into the blocks, exploded around that bend, and crossed the finish line in 19.67 seconds. A time so fast, so historically significant, so jaw-dropping that the crowd did not even react immediately. They just stood there processing because what they had just witnessed was not simply a new Australian record. Not just a World Under 20 record. It was also the fastest 200m time in the world this year. And the athletics world has never seen anything quite like this coming from someone so young.
Very talented. The times he's running now, and he's really been doing well. That's something that you love to see, because you want athletes to do well, and you want the sports. The more athletes do well, the bigger the sports is. And I'm always a supporter of track and field getting bigger and doing bigger things. So if he continues on this track.
Before we talk about what Sunday meant, we have to go back to the beginning, because Gout Gout's story does not start at 18, it does not even start at 17. This young man has been turning heads since he was barely a teenager. Born on December 29, 2007 in Ipswich, Queensland, Australia, to a South Sudan family. Gout spent his early years playing competitive football like most kids in Australia do. Then at age 12, he showed up to a school athletics carnival at Ipswich Grammar School, and his coach Diane Shepherd watched him run for the first time and immediately knew she was looking at something extraordinary. By age 13, he was already winning both the 100 meters and 200 amateurs at school competitions. By age 14, he clocked 10.57 seconds in the 100 meters as a 14-year-old, setting an Australian under 16 record. By 15, he was winning the under 18-20 meters final at the Australian Junior Athletics Championships in Brisbane. Then in early 2024, a video of him running 10.29 seconds in the 100 meters at the Queensland Athletics Championships went absolutely viral. Millions of views on YouTube and Instagram almost overnight. The entire world suddenly knew the name Gout Gout. And if you are wondering how to pronounce it, it is Gout Gout, named in the tradition of his South Sudan heritage, where a name is often repeated for emphasis and identity. He wears that name like armor. And when the whole world knew Gou's name, one very specific person was paying very close attention. In December 2024 at the Australian All-Schools Championships in Brisbane, 16-year-old Gout ran 20.04 seconds in the 200 meters, breaking Peter Norman's 56-year-old Australian national record of 20.06, a record set at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. Historic in every sense, and after that run, the greatest sprinter on the planet, Usain Bolt, won 8 Olympic gold medals. The man who holds the world record of 1919 seconds went on Instagram and left just 5 words. He wrote, "He looks like a young me." 5 words from the GOAT of sprinting. That is not a small thing. That is the greatest sprinter in history looking at a 16-year-old kid and seeing himself after breaking Norman's record. He said to reporters, interview...
Got the 10 seconds again! Look for the win!
I mean, that's what I was hoping for. I didn't get the start I anticipated, but I just focused on what I needed to focus on, got through my drive pace and kept powering through, and then to the clock, so...
I am 16 years old. Speaking like a champion, that was the moment the world truly woke up.
I mean, he is the GOAT, and hopefully, I just got out the semi, so it's definitely great to know that I'm up against top 24 in the world, pretty much, so it's just great experience, you know. Usain Bolt, he's the athlete everyone looks up to, so just gotta keep looking up to him and trying to be like...
So then 2025 arrived and things moved even faster. Music. At the 2025 Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, Gout did 2 things in the space of a few days that shook the athletics world. First, he broke the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters, running 9.99 seconds. Then, in the 200 meter final, he clocked 19.84 seconds. The crowd went absolutely wild. The problem was the wind reading came in at plus 2.2. MS, professional senior sprinters, will never run in their entire careers. His 1984 was already faster than Bolt's, Official under-18 personal best of 20.13. He had already surpassed where the greatest sprinter in history was at the same age. When asked about comparisons to Bolt, Gout gave what might be the most composed response a teenager has ever given in this sport. He said,
It's all about getting everything right. You know what I mean? It's never just easy. It's always easier when you're younger, because I was there. I used to do great things when I was young, but the transition to senior from junior is always tougher. And it's all about if you get the right coach, the right people around you, if you're focused enough. So there will be a lot of factors that will matter to determine if he's going to be great and if he's going to continue on the same trajectory to...
Not cocky, not dismissive of Bolt, just quietly, firmly focused. He is not here to be the next Usain Bolt, he is here to be the first Gout Gout.
This is the biggest stage in the world for athletics. This is the World Championships against the best of the best. So obviously it's a bit nerve-wracking, but I'm just going to get out.
The real test came in September 2025 when Gout stepped onto the biggest stage the sport had to offer, the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. He was 17 years old, competing against senior professionals, men who had been doing this for years, who were fully developed, fully experienced, and absolutely not going to move aside for a teenager with a viral video. And in his very first global championship heat, Gout ran 20.23 seconds. And about that image for a second, the man with the world record sitting in the stands of the Tokyo National Stadium, watching the 17-year-old kid who might one day erase his name from the history books compete in his first senior world championship. That storyline alone was bigger than most full sports documentaries. And Gout was out there handling it, competing, holding his ground.
All I did was turn around. I was standing next to the media box and I'm banging on the window going, is it legal, is it legal? And they just turned around and pointed at the clock and I'm like... So yeah, it was pretty like, I didn't expect that. I was hoping for just under 20, but not that. That was, yeah, that was cool.
So how did he do it then to get
We just tweaked a couple of little things, worked his hands a bit better, just try to get his turnover better, and it worked.
And before those championships began, Bolt had something to say. Speaking in Tokyo to the media ahead of the event, the 8-time Olympic champion offered a carefully measured statement about the teenager. He said there will be a lot of factors that determine whether Gout is going to be great. And then he said the line that tells you he was warning him from a place of experience because Bolt himself was once the teenage phenomenon with the world at his feet. And he knows how quickly that story can unravel if the mindset isn't right. People forget that. They music-see Bolt as the finished product, the showman, the world record holder, the greatest of all time. And they forget he was once a teenager in Jamaica with extraordinary talent and everything still to prove. He was speaking to Gout as a peer, not a legend talking down to an upstart. And that respect coming from Bolt publicly and directly said more than any time on a scoreboard.
Yeah, that for me as well. I've been chasing it ever since I got that illegal sub 20. So I mean, it's been on my mind this whole year and this past couple of months, so I'm glad I got it for sure.
So you've written that time down?
Indeed, I mean, I read slower, to be honest. I read down 1975, and for the past week in my head, I've been telling myself I'm running 1975, and obviously 1967, so gotta love it. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I mean, I guess you could say a big weight off my shoulder knowing that I ran illegally and I have the speed and my body to run times like that, so it definitely feels great and ready for more.
Then came the result that actually might have been the single most important moment in Gout Gout's development so far. In the semi-finals of the World Athletics Championships, Gout finished 4th, 20.36 seconds. Not enough to qualify for the final. And the question everyone was instantly asking was, how does he handle this? Because there is a version of this story where a 17-year-old who has been called the next Usain Bolt since he was 14. No drama, just honesty and accountability and the unmistakable, quiet confidence of someone who already knows he will be back in that position again and is absolutely certain about what he will do differently. At 17 years old, handling a semi-final. Exit at the World Championships with that kind of grace, that is character. And that character, more than any time or wind reading or record, might be the most important indicator of what is coming.
What do you make of him as a 17-year-old?
I mean, more talented than I was. He's an amazing kid. You got a great head on him. You got a great team around him. It's going to be interesting to see how he develops. The thing that I always look for when I'm looking at younger talent is, hey,
are you just going to be able to train into shape? One, because when you're in high school, you're able to just get like races all the time whenever you want. But as a pro, you got to race, you know, you got to come prepared already. And then two, just seeing how they put some, you know, weight room on him over as time develops, you know, naturally, not just like all at once. But, you know, he got a great coach. You know, she's, you know, very, she's constantly looking to be a better coach, and she's constantly looking to be the best for him. So, you know, we'll see. You know, I'd say.
Fast forward to April 12th, 2026. Sydney, the Australian Athletics Championships 200M final. Gout's main domestic rival, Lachlan Kennedy, had withdrawn from the event. Kennedy had beaten Gout at the Murray Plant Meet Music just 2 weeks prior, and the anticipated rematch had been one of the most talked about matchups in Australian athletics. When Kennedy pulled out, some people wondered if the race would lose its edge. Then Gout ran 19.67 seconds, and nobody was thinking about anyone else in that race. His personal best had been 20.02. He chopped 0.35 seconds off that mark in one single race. In athletics, 0.35 seconds is not a marginal improvement. It is a statement. It is a generational leap. His teammate Aidan Murphy, running in the same final, also went sub. 20 clocking 19.88, making it the race where the two fastest Australian men in history crossed the finish line on the same afternoon. World Athletics posted about it, instantly writing, "Outrageous indeed." Commentator Bruce McAvaney, watching from the Channel 7 broadcast booth, put down his notes and said, "He has accomplished what many anticipated. The world will be stirred." The world was stirred.